Hey, welcome to Books, Builds, and More. I'm Travis, and today I'm covering my June monthly channel recap. The month of June was a vast improvement over the horror that was the month of May. I managed to get a lot more content out this month because I just had a lot more time to do so, and I was in a much better mood this month. So I got a total of 11 videos, the first of which was my May channel recap for that month. And then I did a total of 4 book reviews, even though I I completed 3 books. Skeleton Crew by Stephen King was my first 2 reviews, and I split this one up. My first review is The Mist, the short story, actually the novella, because it was basically that length. The Mist, and then the second video covered the entire rest of this book because I wanted to separate The Mist from the rest of it, because The Mist is part of my Dark Tower reading journey this year. So I wanted to kind of keep that video within my Dark Tower playlist that I've got going on my channel. So yeah, that counts as 2 book reviews, but just for 1 book. And then I read From a Buick 8, again, part of the Dark Tower journey that I'm doing. So I reviewed this one as well. And then I did my Jurassic reading challenge read, Moby Dick by Herman Melville. I reviewed this one, and it was my Jurassic reading pick, for my Spinosaurus pick for the month of June. It was to read something that took place in or on the water, and this was what I chose. So this was the 4th book I reviewed. I also did 3 book tags this month. I did the Booktuber Habits tag, the Booktube Reflection tag, and the 2026 Mid-Year Freakout book tag. So you can go back and check those out if you're interested. And I only had 3 build videos this month, 2 of which were jigsaw puzzle related. One was a small jigsaw puzzle haul that I did, and then the other one, jigsaw puzzle video, was where I did the State Fair by White Mountain Puzzles, and I have since glued that and put it in my little puzzle sleeve as storage. I'll get a frame for it later. And then I reviewed the Lego set, the Great Pyramid of Giza. So I didn't actually build this. I already had this built, so I didn't actually build anything this month except for that puzzle and the State Fair. I built that in one day, like literally got up that morning and just built that thing all day long. It was 1,000 piece, and it took me literally all day, until actually past my bedtime. Not much past it, but past it, to get it completed. I just needed that entire day to decompress after everything I was feeling just off the cusp of May, which was a horrible month on so many levels. And yeah, that's just the way it went. Now, I did have an epic fail of a build month. Now, back in my May recap video, during my look ahead for June, I wanted to build this one thing. I don't have it anymore. I actually returned it and got my money back because it was a brick craft. It was like Legos, but basically not. It was a company called Brickcraft, but it was still a Lego build, basically. But it was a cattle skull, an old cattle skull build that I was going to do for June, and my building version of June on the Range, which is a reading event, not a building event. But I just wanted to do something like that. But I wanted to do something different too. Like it was still Legos, but not Legos, because I do want to do other things build-wise than just strictly Legos and jigsaw puzzles on this channel. And I thought that would be a start, something new. But it turns out, because I picked it up new or used, it didn't have all the pieces to it. I did actually start to build it, didn't have all the pieces. So, of course, I took it back, got my money back, and I'll just call it a loss, a defeat, and be done with it that way. So, my book of the month is kind of slim pickings this month. All 3 of these books were, all 3 of the books that I completed in June were mid-grade. They were all 3-star-ish reads, pretty close in proximity. Moby Dick was by far the lowest. I can't settle on how to actually feel about that book. It's very annoying. So that definitely didn't make the book of the month. From a Buick Gate was it was an okay read. I liked it better than Moby Dick, but it wasn't the best book I've ever read, of course, either. You can just check out my review on that book if you want to see my thoughts on it. So I have to go with Skeleton Crew as my book of the month. And this one was like a 3.5-star average read because during my reviews, both my review videos of this entire book, The Mist was like 3.5 stars, but the rest of the book, there were stories in here. This was kind of a seesaw rated book that I had actual 1-star reads in this book, but I also had one story, The Jaunt, was almost just about a 5-star read in this book. But there were other 4-star reads and some very memorable stories in this book. So having said that, that makes this my book of the month. And because of that building fail from Brickcraft, I technically only built one thing for the entire month, which was the State Fair jigsaw puzzle. But even if I just review certain builds, they still count. So I'm going to have to go with the Great Pyramid of Giza as my build of the month. I love this set. I've had it built already, so, but still I'm going to count it because it was something I reviewed this month. And yeah, that's it. That's my build of the month. July is not really looking like anything special. I'm just basically going to be continuing with both my Dark Tower reading journey and my Jurassic reading challenge. And to start with the Dark Tower, I just started recently Insomnia, like my little bookmark, my little fantasy themed bookmark that I'm going to use. I got this for my birthday, and I thought it was pretty cool. And I'm going to be using that through everything I'm reading for the Dark Tower, since it's a hugely fantasy read. But regardless, I just started Insomnia. That's the one I'm currently in the middle of doing as far as that goes. And then the next one after that is that I plan to read is Rose Matter. Then after that, going by the order that I had for the Dark Tower, I had Desperation. But since I've read this before, just like it and The Stand before that, I'm skipping this one and going straight to The Regulators by Stephen King, even though it was written by Richard Bachman. This is one of his Bachman books. But I'm not going to get too far ahead on that because, it's just depends, because I also have my Jurassic challenge read, which is the month of July is Pachycephalosaurus month, and we are to read something that involves that contains a stubborn character. And I went with The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald because, according to a lot of people that have told me this, this book contains several stubborn characters, so I think I'm pretty safe with this. And I'm anticipating this one to be like maybe a one-sitter. I can get this done in one sitting. And maybe I go ahead and finish Insomnia, then do this real fast so I can get it reviewed and get it. If anything that I want to actually get done is my Jurassic reading challenge this year. I want to at least get every book for every month read for that challenge so that I succeed in this challenge. So if I have to, I actually recently just did this. Back when I was reading Wizard and Glass, I actually had to take, that was back in April, I had to take the time off from that to read my Jurassic reading challenge because it was getting close to the end of the month and I was afraid I wouldn't make it. So I had to do that. I may have to do the same thing, not just with this, but however long it takes me to get through this Dark Tower journey, I may have to do that with every Jurassic pick for every month here out until I get something done there. My July building is going to be a little bit different because up until this point all year long, it's mostly been just whatever. I've never really organized or planned anything as far as building wise goes. Not really. I mean, there were a couple of instances where I just kind of plan something to fit the theme of the month, like back in March, where I did the Stegosaurus Discovery set in honor of the Jurassic reading prompt for that month, which was Stegosaurus month. We had to read something that was family themed, but it was based off the Stegosaurus theme of the month. And I thought, well, since I'm reading it's Stegosaurus month, I have a Stegosaurus Lego set, so I just built it that way. Not valid reason, of course, but just something fun, and I wanted an excuse to build a Lego set, so I just used that, pathetic as it was. But anyway, I'm going to actually build a Lego set this month because I haven't built one in at least a couple of months, actually built one, and I want to do that because, especially after that epic fail of that cattle skull that I didn't have all the pieces for, so I actually want to build something this month, Lego related. And I have 3 contenders here that give me July summer vibes. So I'm thinking about posting a poll and letting people vote on what I should build this month. And let me know well, I'll post it here within the next few days, but let me know. I'm going to show you what I've got. I was going to actually build this earlier, the month that I read West with Giraffes, but I didn't, and I can't remember I think because I just didn't feel like it, or it just changed. But this is the 3-in-1 Creator Wild Safari Animals, and this is the headliner, the giraffe, and then you have a lion and a gazelle. Don't know my African wildlife. So yeah, I don't know if I build this one though. I'm not sure if I'll just build the giraffe or if I'll go ahead and build all 3 and review them that way and maybe rank them that way. But in order to do that, it will take me a long time because these are not 3 models in one. You build one, you have to take it apart in order to build the other one, and so forth. So that's it. If it were 3, this would be a lot more expensive than what it actually was. But that's the first contender for July for a build. Now, my second one is actually my last Jurassic Park / World set that I own that I have not built yet, and that is the Allosaurus transport truck. These vehicles look really, really neat. I think this would be a quick set to put together, but it looks pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know. I think the Allosaurus already looks pretty good, so I don't know. But that's given me July summer vibes too. But now this third one would probably give me more spring vibes, but it definitely would fit a summer vibe. And that is the Lego Ideas, from the Lego Ideas line, the insect collection, where you have the beetle, the praying mantis, and the monarch butterfly. These are individualized models, of course, so I would probably review and rank this one, kind of like the botanical sets that I did a few months ago, like the tiny plants and the succulents. They had individual, and then I ranked them and just, reviewed the sets as a whole. But those are my 3 picks for builds for the month of July. Yeah, that's it. That's all I've got. So if you've stuck with me this long, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.